Hello and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Now, in the last video where I was flying with Sim Update 3 and testing out Sim Update 3, I noted that there were a number of bugs with a few aircraft that had cropped up, mainly with things like level of detail modelling, but also with things not loading properly or things not being able to be clicked properly, so on and so forth. This was one of the aircraft that had the problems. The other one that I tested being the PMDG 777. I think also the Phoenix A320 had a couple of issues, but all the developers, Just Flight, PMDG, Phoenix, whoever else there is, Black Square, they have all been hard at work trying to get on top of these issues as Microsoft introduced them. Or Asobo introduce them, whichever you wish to say. This is version 1.4 of the RJ Professional, which means that it is now Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 native, whatever that means. I think it's got something to do with the fact that it uses the handling and physics and everything of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 as opposed to 2020 with all its APIs and integration. But also that means that the bugs have been fixed. So I'm going to be flying this particular aircraft out from here, which is Birmingham Airport, Echo Golf Bravo Bravo, over to Shannon Airport in the Republic of Ireland, which is Echo India November November. It is a little bit of a windy day, but hopefully it's a headwind here for runway 15, and I'm hoping that when it comes to landing at Shannon, it is going to be a headwind into the runway with very little to no crosswind components. But with Microsoft Flight Simulator, you really never know. See my last video for an example of that. What it was supposed to be was not what it actually was. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. The aircraft is almost in an engine start configuration. Just a couple of more checklist items to go through, and we shall be underway. Okay, just to start having an idea of what we need to do. Those are ready to be switched on. I'll switch them on in a moment. Just going to go through a quick check across the board, make sure everything is in. Route is in from SimBrief, very quickly to show you that. We are Speedbird 193 today. Flight level 250 is going to be our cruise altitude. ISO deviation is 9 degrees. The top of climb outside, air temperature minus 26 degrees Celsius. Cruise wind is 182 at 6.5, which is fairly windy up there. Reserves of 0.8. If we go to the departures, we're going to be, or legs, we're going to be departing, route, that's the one I wanted. We'll be departing runway 15, and we'll be taking the Luxtow 15 departure over to Luxtow, which for some reason it's done that, and I'm not sure why it's done that. I'll be checking that in a moment. That is odd. We'll be climbing up to, as a flight level 250. Cruise speed today is Mach 0.7. So that is what we shall be doing. And then our approach is going to be using the TEPA transition. Probably TEPA, I think, is 2 Delta to land on runway 24 at Shannon, which I have not yet programmed in. So that is that. I'm just going to bring that route up to double check that in a moment. Up top, let's go have a look. Everything is correctly switched on. Brake fans will be on in a bit. That is all correct for now. I'm actually going to switch the DC pump on just to get a little bit more pressure in the yellow system. There we go. That will do nicely. Good. Everything else appears to be okay. Beacon light is on, ready to warning people that the aircraft is about to start. Start master can, well, let's do APU air off, packs off. Start master can go on. Select engine 4, all engine anti-ices go on. This is just to do with the starting system. It's a bit strange. Ice detect can also go on. Everything else looks fairly good there. All fuel pumps can now go on. And we are in a configuration ready to start these engines. Excellent. Right, let's go ahead and get the first engine started, or starting. Wait, all these need to be put to the bottom. I do not know why they start at idle, even though I have it set to fuel cutoff. That is a little awkward. 11, 12, 13%. I'm just looking at the N2 percentage right there. Engine should be coming online. You should be able to hear it. In the meantime, I'm going to switch on the two EFIS displays and bring those up. Course is already set. 146, which is runway heading. The speed hold at the moment is 157. I am going to be doing a manual takeoff with manual throttle, so it doesn't really matter. But in any case, it's probably a good idea to just have that as a reference. 137 is our V2 speed, so we will be going past the V2 speed. As long as I'm climbing around 160, we should be okay. Checking rudders at the moment. Second course is not set. Initial altitude is 6,000 feet, but we will probably be bursting through that fairly quickly as well, so it doesn't really matter. There's the departure itself, going out like so, and then from there it's pretty much, that looks like, I think it's about 220-ish degrees, so we'll just be heading out from there. But as I said, I do want to check that out, perhaps when the next engine is starting. We'll go ahead and put this into plan mode, figure out what on earth it's doing. That's fine. That is correct. Just curious as to why it's done that and not just Luxto 15 to Luxto. That's the bit that has confused me. But that is perfectly fine. Might be something to do with the fact that I imported the flight plan from SimBrief, which you can now do in this version. Might have a look at one of the wing views for the last engine start. There we go. Get some fuel in. Should see, there you go. You get to see the exhaust. It's a little overcast. I do have head tracking on, and you may have noticed if you look at planes in the distance, FSLTL is on. I do not have aircraft flying around in the air yet. It's just ground aircraft, but there we go. At least it is something. Let's go ahead and uncage the standby attitude indicator. I also do not recall putting a fix 5 miles around the airport. Oh, it's not a 5 mile fix, sorry, that's not a 5 mile fix, that's just my radar telling me that's 5 miles, or display telling me that's 5 miles, because it's in plan mode. There we go. That's better. Now we have the 5 miles. Right. Engines are all up. Let's go ahead and put the APU air back on and the packs back on. Get the screen heat or ice protection on. Screen heat on. Ice detect is on. Engine anti-ice can go off. It's not needed at the moment. Start power. That goes to off. Stop power goes off. Generators go on. Up the top. Engine pumps go on, PTU on, AC pump to automatic. Taxi lights can probably go on. There we go. Was beacon light not on this entire time? Oops. Oh, there's the first mistake of the day. It's not going to be the last. I think everything is looking fairly good. Flaps can go to 18. Parking brake can be deselected for a config. Oh wait, I will wait for the flaps to actually get to 18 before doing that config check. Flight directors can go on. Altitude hold will be set. Currently we'll do heading select, even though that's not going to be on. You'll notice that flies, or that flashes for a bit before it selects it, because it does take a little bit of time. We'll make sure we put that into the right mode soon. We'll go ahead and shut the flight deck door and lock it. There we go, makes it a little bit quieter. I've been trying to get rid of her. I cannot for some reason. No idea who she is. But there we go. In the morning sun, it is a little bit difficult to actually see what's going on. Config check is good. I think we are good to go. Let me actually manually, or just check this entire checklist. Oh, I know one thing that has been missed. Brake fans need to go to auto in case of a rejected takeoff. There we go. Good. Everything else, I believe, is correct. So let's release the parking brake once again and start moving this aircraft. Now, ground handling in this is still a little bit awkward. I guess I could start zooming just a touch. I can switch on head tracking. Yes, ground handling is a little awkward in this. So I do like the way this aircraft generally moves is lovely. And the shadows, these is it ray trace shadows? They're very, very nice. There's a couple more aircraft. That's an Air France and a Lufthansa. Oh, is that Lufthansa's new livery? Quite like the yellowish orange spot that it used to have. Just to make it stand out a little. This is not quite as good. I'm also finding it just a little difficult to, my controls are not in the nicest of positions, so it is a little difficult to control them the entire properly the whole way. We'll be taking off, as I said, runway 15, which is 146 is the heading. Then after 2 miles, we'll be turned to 165, and then direct to Luxor, which is, I think, as I said, I think it's about 220 or thereabouts. By that time, we will probably already be in the clouds. I'm also just considering whether or not I should put the flight recorder on. Where is the flight recorder? There it is. I think I might just switch this on. There we go. Now, a few things that are not working the way I want them to work is I cannot seem to select these on my Honeycomb Bravo. None of them appear to work. No real idea why or what is actually causing that issue. So that has to all be done manually, unfortunately. Doing a brake test. Should probably just do a quick jab of the brakes, because I think, yep, they were set to 100% or nothing. Looking for the windsock, there is one. Winds look as expected. They look like just a headwind. Maybe a very slight crosswind, one or two knots. Should not be keywords should not be an issue. We'll go ahead and switch this on as well. Let's get some galley service going. And we'll have the cabin crew prepare for takeoff in a few seconds. Weather radar can go to standby. We might need that today. Now, I did do a test flight in this, and one of the issues I had was I could not disengage the autopilot system. No idea why, but that was a thing. Something had gone weird with the controls. I think I fixed it. Get that into full TARA at the moment. No, actually the winds are not bad at all here. That is if that is accurate. Which, as if you watched my last video, we've established something is not quite right at some times. So I have no idea. We are carrying 80 passengers today, which is not too shabby. The aircraft is, as I've pointed out, is currently weighing some 39-ish tons. So it's not quite as heavy as it could be, but it is fairly heavy nonetheless. We'll go all the way down to the end of the runway where they have extended it, simply because confidence in the aircraft. I'm sure I could probably take it off from right there, but just because of confidence in the aircraft, I'll go all the way down to the end. It's interesting how this part of the taxiway does look very small when you're comparing, when you're looking at these engines and where we're actually going. We're off to the right hand side of the taxiway, and it still looks like the engines are very close to the end. Very interesting. And because they seem quite low, it's probably just a perspective thing. Anyway. Right.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
Let's go. Strobe lights, taxi lights off, landing lights on.
Cabin is secured for departure.
As I said, nothing to worry about or wait for due to not having the traffic on yet. Once I do have traffic on, I'm sure I'm going to have to check for traffic, or use something like Beyond ATC or something to do that. Let's get heading mode selected. So those buttons work. I can select the modes, I just cannot change the dials for some reason. Okay. Final takeoff checks. Speed brake in, flaps 18. Throttles are fine. Brakes are on, landing lights are on. Everything's set. Continuous ignition not required. APU generator still on. Packs are on. I think we are good to go. I mean, if we are not, well, we're going to be in trouble, aren't we? Let's get rid of that for now, just for a slightly better view, and let's start bumping this power up and seeing what we can do. Make sure that... What was that shadow I saw? I think it's just the way the shadows are working, that's fine. So it says 94.9 N1 set. I'm not entirely certain that I'm going to be able to do that, but there we have it. Let's try it anyway.
Check thrust. Airspeed alive. Thrust set. 80 knots.
Cross-checked. Releasing back pressure.
Positive climb.
Gear up.
Zero select.
$150.
Gear up.
There's
Like
160.
that.
Pitching 12.5 degrees. Oh, very slight wind. You can feel that. Oh, there is a bit of turbulence here. Just going to bring the power back a touch. Overall, that was a pretty good takeoff, I would say. Yes, it is just a little windy. Wasn't as quite as smooth as I was hoping. That much is for certain. Try and turn over to 167, although I'm just going to continue around to 170 because I'm slightly off where I need to be. Now I'm just going to bring the nose down to 10 degrees. There we are. Get that acceleration going. And we'll now turn to whatever this one's supposed to be, with a very slight pitch up of the nose. As said, I think this is approximately 220, but I'm not 100% sure. Looks like maybe it's 221. Okay, let's bring that down to 7.5 degrees. Getting to 6,000 feet. Let's say we are cleared all the way up. So we'll mark it for 25,000 feet. Speed will set for 210. No, speed will set for 250 until 10,000. We are still accelerating very slowly, but I'm okay with that. And we'll do heading. Now I know there is a click spot for this. I just do not know what the click spot is. Because what I'm going to do now is, since this is just a climb out, we're going to do, let's put a little bit more power in. Like so. Going to probably wait for the flaps call, but I will hit vertical speed, nav 1, get that vertical speed up. There we go. And that is the autopilot now kicking in. Flap 0. Watch that from back here, I guess. There they come. That's a pretty good view this morning. It's a pretty good view indeed. And there we have it. We have a pretty good takeoff. I would say that was fairly well done. Perhaps not the best, but fairly well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew has been released to the next area. But please note that the seatbelt
Landing lights can now, go off. Which one is it? Is it that one? There we go. Landing lights are off. We can climb all the way to 280 now as we're passing 10,000 feet. That looked like lightning ahead of me. Oh, that is lightning. That's... right, that's a concern. What does this weather radar say? Okay, this was not what I was expecting. Let's try and maybe just pass around the side of it a little. Oh, the other thing I need to do is change this if I can. No, not that. There's a click spot here that should allow me to change. There it is. There, that's now 20 degrees of bank only maximum. Okay, so we are about to head into lightning. That was not part of the plan. Also, throttle can be armed now. So all I did was let it accelerate up to where it needed to accelerate to and then left it. Okay. Yes, as you can see, I'm slightly concerned. Oh dear. Well, might as well get through the after takeoff checklist anyway and switch some of these on. So engine air goes on, all 4. APU air can go off, APU can be stopped, APU generator goes off. Up here, PTU can go off, AC pump remains auto. We should be all right. Let's go take a look at this from out here. That's a storm front. There is no other way of describing that. So that right ahead is a storm front. Great. I know there were storms around the area, but I wasn't expecting it just here. I'm guessing that there's going to be icing as well, so if I just check this and bring up the outside air temperature, I'm fairly sure, yeah, we are going to have icing conditions very soon. So for the icing conditions, what we need to do is we need to switch on the engine anti-ice, tail anti-ice, and the outer wing anti-ice. And then once we are out of the icing conditions, switch them off, switch the inner wing on for, I think it's 30 seconds, and we should be okay. Yeah, you are going to need these fasten seatbelt signs, I can tell you that much. Is this something that can be seen from, not from that view, can it be seen from this view? Oh yes it can. That's a lot of rain. And we're about to fly into it. Will we get the streaks is the question. Oh, we're managing. Sort of. Maybe we're just on the edge. I have perhaps just about managed to skirt it. It does appear like I've just managed to skirt it. There's the ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, outer tail. Okay, so whilst we are here, let's have a look at where we are en route. So that is our current location. We go to IFR, that is a route we are currently on, and we will be turning pretty soon across one of these. It's one of these that we're turning into, and we'll be going out, I think it's this one along here. That's an inbound route though, so that cannot be it. Oh wait, that was IFR low. This is IFR high, which is what we should be on. Where there are no routes. Well, that's awkward. Oh, bits of stutter. Tiny amount of turbulence. We are still climbing, which is fine, and I guess we could get to standard pressure now. Should have done that ages ago. We are, however, struggling to maintain or struggling to accelerate, so I'm going to drop the rate of climb to 1,500 foot per minute. Just so that we can accelerate a little. That is the top of the cloud layer right there. I think we're alright. I think we are alright. Kind of. There we go. Not quite breaking out of the clouds, but we are just above the top of them, or just coming up above the top of them. Let's have a look from here. So this would be ideal if the reflection was of a higher resolution, and you saw this. Now this also does not, back into some clouds, this does not bode well for my approach and descent over to Shannon. That much is for certain. This really does not bode well for that. And just looking at this reminds me that I need to check out, is it Rex Atmos Core, or whatever it's called, which is out for Flight Simulator 2024 now. The clouds are a little fluffy, they could do with a bit more definition at the top, but I've heard that it is not as good as the version for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Let's bring that down to 15 degrees of bank. We are still climbing, which is good. I'll drop the rate of climb to 1,000 now. Still struggling to keep the speed though. And we're about to make a turn. There it is. A 1,000 to go. I think we are literally just above these clouds. Like very, very close to the top. We're just going to be skirting them the entire way, if they stay at this level, that is. Oh, that was a flash of lightning. Oh dear. Avoided being hit by any, which is good, I suppose. take a few more screenshots. Probably should be sitting... Oh, okay. I don't want Mark 0.59, we'll Mark 0.7. There we go. We have struggled here to maintain the speed. That is for certain. It's just thunderstorms everywhere. I suppose now is probably a good time, no time at the present I guess, to sort out my arrival. So we're looking for ILS 24, that's one, and I think DRAG must be the transition. Execute, and we'll see what we've got. Let's get this, just always maintaining the heading to match the direction. Although I say the direction of flight, look at the direction we are flying. I'm just going to mark it. That's our direction of travel. That's the direction of flight. I would say it's windy. Yes, I would say it's pretty windy. Just looking at where the top of descent is, saying it's there. Which isn't too bad. We have reached our speed though, so that is good, but we're just in cloud. Should have perhaps flown at 27 or 280. Probably been a better option. So at the moment we're going anti-ice the entire way. Plus I can barely see anything underneath. Just saw a glimpse of what's probably Cardiff down there. That was about it. There you go. A little bit of a view of Wales. Can you see? Also a little bit of a view. Oh, what time is it? 7:29. That's... I'm assuming that's Zulu. I've no idea. Just to double check that, I am just going to grab the weather.
Traffic.
What? Where's the traffic? I didn't see any traffic. Anyway, 8:30, 7:30, yeah, that's UTC. So I'm probably going to look at what the weather is, what the weather was at Shannon. Well, the Meteor was supposed to be decent weather, but we all know how that goes. So we'll go Echo India November. It's really useful to have a. It's really useful to have a mobile phone or a tablet or something present when you're flight simming, so that you can actually check this. I want to know what that traffic was. So I didn't see anything. Right. So we're looking at landings at 7:30, so it's currently 8:30 local. We're going to be landing probably 9 or 10. Oh, it's raining. Okay, light showers, rain, 9 knot wind, 250, 3 knot crosswind, which should be okay. Pretty low pressure. Visibility is about 5.5 miles. All right. I've made it difficult for myself. That is what I've done here. Made it really, really difficult for myself. Well done. Well done, me. Oh, there's the ground. Oh, that's a view. Maybe we should just sit here for a while. What could be the worst that happens? I miss my descent. Now that's actually a really bad thing. That is a really bad thing. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Got 9 knot headwind. That should be all right. Took off in a 15 knot headwind, so. And the view is really, really good from here. And one of the things I have to remember about this aircraft is actually to pull the speed brake, which I tend not to do, because this is just something I'm not used to doing, pulling a speed brake. Problem with my view is this. That's the issue. Maybe if I just zoom out a touch, wouldn't have that. No, I still have that issue. Possibly do that, just bring my head as far back as possible. You can understand why this aircraft is called the Whisper Jet. It's very quiet inside. Very, very quiet. In fact, it's really quiet because nobody appears to be talking. Everyone's just watching the clouds. They're all mesmerised by the clouds. And hopefully you are too. And if you are enjoying this video, here's a little plug. Click on the like button. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you. Now I should be really up front, but it's interesting looking down at layer upon layer of cloud. That is really, really well done. And perhaps this is why Rex Atmos is perhaps struggling a bit and not able to do what it did with 2020, because apart from perhaps a little bit of color grading, that looks really good. Maybe certain bits need to be sharpened and softened, but otherwise that looks really, really good. Should we have a look around the other side? What can we see out here? And it's more of the same. There's lots and lots and lots of cloud. In this sense, I have no idea where we are. Still over land, so that's good. But how close we are to the coast, I can just about make out water. So I think we are coming up to the coast. There's a bit of a rainbow there as well. No, that wasn't the coast, that was just cloud. Very difficult to see. Should probably go back to the front. Oh, well, this is a lovely view, isn't it? Actually, it isn't. It is a lovely view. odd clouds. Some of these clouds do look a little odd. They do need to improve those. I remember it took a few updates for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to have working clouds. Let's go ahead and look at this and just see what the top of descent. 98 miles. Alright. Let's look at the legs for this, make sure everything is alright. Yep. All is well. And actually, I have an idea. I have an idea. Not something I normally do, but, well, I say not something I normally do. No, I do things like this. Just to make sure. No. That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. That should rework out speeds and make sure I hit the right bits at the right time. That looks pretty good. Approach today, we could do full flaps 33, which is 119 knots. I might go for that. Not entirely certain, to be completely honest. We'll see. Have to have a look. Right, how long to go? Let's find out, shall we? If it's 80 something miles to the top of descent, we are doing about 290 knots, so that will be in less than 20 minutes, probably 15 minutes or so. And I think that's going to be about 15 minutes top of descent, and then we're looking at another maybe 20 minutes down. So 40 minutes in total. We should be landing within 40 minutes. In terms of how this aircraft is all flying at the moment, it appears to be working well. There isn't anything that has caught me out as such yet. I'm just waiting for the inevitable to happen, but nothing has caught me out as of yet. Just not the nicest of views, I'm afraid. There's the odd spot of rain or something as well flashing up ahead. And unfortunately, because anti-ice is on the entire time, the throttles are a little bit higher as well. It's minus 21 outside air temperature at the moment. Just looking at that display there. Now, if anyone is wondering how come I'm not using VNAV mode, this aircraft doesn't actually have VNAV, so it wasn't actually fitted with. I think it's VNAV advisory, does not have an actual VNAV mode, as far as I know. Now, if someone does correct me on that, I will stand corrected. And if you're wondering what MLS is, that's the microwave landing system, which was never put into service. Or if it was put into service, it did not last very long. Okay, top of descent is approaching. I'm going to set this now for 12,000 feet. Now we'll set the vertical speed manually and we'll see what the green banana shows. Less than 60 miles to top of descent. And we will need to slow the aircraft down a touch as well when we get to it. I'd say I'd take a picture outside, but there isn't much I can show here. It's just that, and it's really windy, which you can actually hear, which I suppose is worth showing, just so you can hear it. But it is, yeah, it's an interesting flight today, I would say. Not the flight I had planned. That much is for certain. That's okay. In terms of descent, probably try to descend at something 1,500 foot per minute. Something that allows us to keep the throttles fairly low. We can drop the throttles off. Maybe I need to change. Is it a co-pilot's avatar or something? Perhaps that needs to change. Maybe then she'll disappear. I'll have to try it. Should probably look at landing information for this particular airport. Arrival. So we are 2 Delta on nav arrival. So we come into TPUF, flight level 80 or above. Flight level 60 there, and then it's DRAG or DERAG 3000 and turn straight in. Then we'll fly straight in. That's the plan. Approach runway 24. It's going to be 237 ILS 110905. Should probably set that up. Actually put that in now for the course of 237. There we go. That's set there. I'll set this course a little later. In fact, no, I might as well do it now. Why have I gone that way? I have no idea. There we are, 237. Should we start our descent now? 38 miles to top of descent. I mean, it isn't going to get better than this, is it? So, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, that's bad. You know what? Let's just go. Let's start descending at... Let's find out what this descent gives us. (1,400 feet per minute). There we go. That looks reasonable. Oh, we're descending out of one layer of cloud into another. Now, that is actually something worth potentially looking at. There's a pocket there. Maybe we should just dive into that pocket. Okay, that is actually worth looking at. something, maybe I could straighten the plane up. Maybe like that. And from, what does it look like from these? Ominous. That is the best way I can describe that. That is just ominous. And that's kind of nice. The thing is, from the ground, this probably is not that bad. It's just, it looks bad from the sky. Yes, from up here, it probably just looks bad. There is a high chance this is not that bad. He says, hopefully. Just hoping. So then after that, we're going to have, so we are descending at 1,400 foot per minute. We then have a further 15 miles to drop another 6,000 feet. So at the moment we're dropping 13,000 feet. Then we need to drop another 6,000 feet, although we will be going more slowly, and then another 8 miles to drop to 3,000 feet. So potentially, maybe I should go for 8,000 feet here. Or no, 10,000 feet. Let's go for 10,000 here. Let's do that. And we'll see if we can bring that extra 100 foot per minute down, and we should be alright. There we go. Should be okay there. They look like storms. Lots and lots and lots of storms. Oh dear. At this point, the question that must be asked is, why do I do this to myself? That truly is the question. Maybe I do this for views like that. To be honest, it doesn't look terrible. I cannot see it raining. In fact, it doesn't appear to be raining. It just looks overcast. Maybe it's patchy rain. Maybe it's just patchy rain. It'll be fine. It will be absolutely fine. Engines rolled back a bit more than I was expecting. Air temperature outside is heating up as we descend, which is obviously what happens. I'm now going to set this heading. Okay, so this is where things are going to take a bit of a... This is where things may change. I need to check that approach. Here it is. Okay, D-Rag or Derag is some ways away. We'll be joining it, something like that, and then we should be able to intercept. We have 5 miles to establish ourselves. 3,000 feet at Rossrow, and then descending. Now we should be okay. Now I just hope that it isn't really bad crosswinds. That is my concern. It's the crosswinds that are concerning me. Switch that to VOR, we'll probably need it. Bring that down to 40 miles. Leave that in LNAV, that's fine. icing conditions. It says icing conditions have gone. Question is, when I go into that, will there be more icing conditions? It's currently -6. I think by the time we get down there, it should not be icing. That's the theory. But as we know, theory is just a theory. I'm just trying to think every 1,000 feet what the temperature change is. I think it's 2 degrees every 1,000 feet, 2 degrees Celsius. So we should be at positives soon. Actually, the weather here does not look terrible. Yes, we have a bunch of clouds, but this is not the worst I've seen. It looks far worse on the east coast, east side of Ireland. This is not quite. There's a lot more. There are more visible pockets where I can see the ground. Like, for example, that whole pocket over there. That one there, there's one right in front of me. Probably out on that side as well. Okay, we're at -2 degrees. Let's get the descent checklist at this point. Is probably a good idea to go through. Shouldn't be too difficult. I think I need to switch the APU back on, PTU back on, but let's do the PTU I suppose first. Once we get to 10,000 feet, we'll do the APU. So PTU on. That's looking all right. 10,000 feet, we'll do the APU, and we'll switch engine air off and back to the APU, and then we'll just work our way down from there. In theory. Yep, we should not have icing conditions anymore. So this is fine. Absolutely fine. Right, if I were to aim for... Oops, no, I've done that. I've made a mistake. That's not what I meant to do. Sorry, we've just hit a spot of turbulence. Clicked in the wrong direction. Very easy to do. If we go to 6,000, where are we going to hit 6,000? There. So if I now do that, we slow ourselves down. 6,000 will be hit a lot faster. Ice detected. Oh. Surely we should be okay. Should we not be okay? We're definitely in positive temperatures now. Okay, I'm going to start slowing this aircraft down further. .240. I'm also going to set up the, I think it's 998, I believe. It's quite low since we're now descending. Actually, I'll just press that. There you go, 996, in fact. Landing lights can go on. And at this point, I suppose, APU start. Get that going. Right, surely we're in positive. There we go. Ice detector's gone. I was going to say we must not be in ice, surely. bring that back to 20, then we'll bring it to 30 after this one. Just thinking what the best intercept angle is. Thank you. APU on, APU air on, engine air off. Good. Okay. I think we're doing okay. Let's go for a 3,000 feet. See where we hit 3,000. It's there, but we are going to be slowing down a lot more by the time we get to that point. So I think we could ease this off a little. Oh, this seems okay. It's still, there is a crosswind. I'm going to point that out. There is a crosswind, and I'm not keen on that. At least it's just up here, but that angle there, given that I'm landing in that direction, why is it pushing me? I suppose that's the headwind, actually. That shouldn't be an issue. That's the headwind across there. So maybe it won't be so much of an issue. I think I'm going to find myself in a lot of cloud, though. Actually, this is all right. This is completely all right. Okay, let's slow ourselves down even further. In fact, hold on, bring this back. Gives us 10. I think when Derag or Derag gets to 10 miles, we'll slow down. Slow down to 190. In fact, do I want the flaps before or after? That's the question. How much room do I want to give myself for this landing? So I've got 9 miles there. I'd probably want to be fully configured by just after that, so maybe start slowing ourselves down to 220 now. Heading's all right. Oh, straight into cloud. Great. I don't think I'm going to see the runway, I'll be honest. It's just going to be... Oh, this is actually dark cloud. There we go. Straight through that. Many concerns at this point in time. Nothing I can do about it, though. Oh no, I can see the ground. It looks like the cloud cover is about 3,000 feet, and the aircraft's coming to view. There, 10 miles to go. Start slowing ourselves down even further. 200 should get us to... We should be able to get to Derag and hit the... Well, I say that we're not slowing down, so I'm going to pull the speed brake now. There we go. Need that speed brake. Get ourselves slowed down. Okay. Let's go heading select. And as soon as that's done, arm the approach. Whoa, why am I turning? And where am I turning? Why am I not able to arm the approach? Yes, I know that, but why am I not able to arm... That's why I'm not able to arm the approach.
Glide slope alive.
There we go. Okay, we've got the glide. Just need the localizer now. Slow down even further.
Speed checked. Flaps 80.
Flaps 18. Localizer's alive as well. No, 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 no. Has it not caught the glide? Come on. Catch the glide. Please tell me you've got the glide slope. Okay, I think it's got the glide slope. I'm just watching that. I'm just waiting for that to go green. This isn't going green. That's what I'm concerned about. Now at the moment I also can't see a thing. 170, 140, flaps 33, there we go, set that. Please tell me you're going to catch the glide. If you do not, I'm going to be concerned. Especially as I cannot see a thing. Oh, this is going to be rough. This is actually going to be rough because I have no idea what I will say is it looks like it's a fairly good headwind. That's the good thing. Oh, I see ground. I see ground. Please tell me you've got the glide slope now.
Glide slope captured.
Okay.
Speed checked. Geared up.
Right, I need to be able to see what I'm doing here. Runway not in sight. Runway still not in sight. Next stage of flaps, come on. Let's keep slowing the aircraft down. Let's bring it down to 140, all the way down to 140 actually. And we'll try and land it. Can we go next stage of flaps? 6 miles away, 7 miles away. I do not want to let go of or I do not want to disable the autopilot until I am certain that I can see the runway. That's my biggest concern. Right, 134. We'll do a flaps 30 landing. Yeah, 124, 134. Let's do that. Okay. We are now at the landing speed. All I have to do is keep it... Well, 124 is the landing speed. All I have to do is keep it at this. Oh, it is a crosswind. Oh, why have I done this to myself? Why have I done this to myself? Where's the airport? I don't need to flare. It's got Cat 3 Autoland. Okay, so Autoland is now active as well. I've just seen that come up. So what I'm going to do is, I still cannot see the airport. Where are the lights? It's raining. Of course it is. Of course it's raining. What else would it be doing right now? Decision height I probably want to set is 246. 1,000 feet to go.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
4,000 foot set for the go around. I'm going to try and land this. Oh, I see it. I see the airport. I see the lights. Okay. How is this going to work is the question.
Cabin is secured for arrival.
What should I switch off or on? Autopilot disconnect. Auto throttle disconnect. Okay, let's see if I can actually land this. I have no idea. I've never this does not feel like a what do you call it? A 3 knot crosswind, I'll say that much. Feels like more. All I've got to do is maintain, I guess, and just watch it down. There we go.
Minimums.
Landing. Air brake
100.
out.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Ground iron. Spoilers, yellow, green.
Full
Brake pressure
brakes.
checked.
Where's my way out of here? I have no idea. I think I turn. Where do I turn? I'm going to have to go all the way to the end, aren't I? Now, let's go all the way to the end and find out where exactly I'm supposed to descend. But I am colour me surprised. Colour me surprised that I've actually managed to do that. I was expecting to completely butcher that landing. In the end, it wasn't too bad. Just a light shower towards the end, and then that was it. Where do I turn? That's the question. Is there no other taxiway off here? What's that? That's not a taxiway. If it is, it's the tiniest taxiway ever. No taxiway down the end? I'm just going to have to do a full loop. And there doesn't appear to be a taxiway down the end. It's just a turnaround spot. Alright, well, let's do a turnaround then. But there we go. Welcome to welcome to Shannon International Airport. What on earth is this music now? Right. Get ourselves down to... Oh, looks like we just missed the rain. Excellent. Well, that was that. In fact, this was actually a fairly decent... At the end of it, I think it was a fairly decent landing. So that is where I'm going to end. Yep, that is definitely where I'm going to end. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Microsoft Flight Simulator. That was reasonable, I think. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Any suggestions you may have, perhaps where you might want me to fly next. If you have any ideas, somewhere perhaps within Europe, maybe somewhere out of this airport to somewhere else. I prefer to keep my flights to maybe an hour and a half in the air. That would be ideal. So if you have any suggestions, please do let me know. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. Let's go ahead and switch landing lights off. Switch taxi lights on. Oh, that's landing lights. Taxi lights, please. Taxi lights. There we go. Yes, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, where who knows where I will be flying. Hopefully the weather is at the very most like this. I'm not sure I'm confident enough to run in other weather conditions. I think that would be somewhat problematic. Oh look, right there. I mean, it makes sense given where we are. What's buzz? No idea. Oh, there we go. As I said, that is all from me. Thank you very much once again, and I shall see you next time in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.